All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? We about to get into this Nicki Minaj and Chris Brown story real quick. If you have not done so, this is something new that I'm announcing. I got a Facebook, and just to kind of let y'all know, let the Pharaohs know what my goal is with this bad boy. I want to make this as update a news outlet, probably a little more up to date than my YouTube. So if you really in the news and you want minute by minute updates, if you got a Facebook page, please go like my Facebook. Mr. TALIAFERRO, it's a page. Just give it a like. That's all I'm asking of. I'm not asking for no money or nothing like that. We won't get down like that. Just a simple like of that Facebook page. It helps me get to where I need to go. For those who don't know, you can monetize your Facebook account, make money off of it if you got content. So I'm just throwing it out in the atmosphere. Please, if you have the time, please like my Facebook page. Just type in "It's Mr. TALIAFERRO" or Mr. TALIAFERRO, whatever, and it'll pull right on up. And then, yeah, we're about to start doing news on that bad boy. So thank y'all so much for the love. Now let's get into this story here, as we got a big time news update. I think this is absolutely phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. This has probably been the biggest announcement I've gotten in music all year. Yo, there ain't no music dropping. Ain't no artist dropping any records. Have y'all not noticed that? We can't talk about music on the platform when none of the premier talents are dropping music. No Migos single, no nothing. Like, we ain't got nothing this summer. We finally got some type of musical announcement. The only thing we got so far this spring for the summer is Kodak beef. We know Kodak gonna be beefing all summer. We ain't even got Tekashi. Like, damn. Anywho, Nicki Minaj and Chris Brown are going on tour, and this is absolutely phenomenal. I think both parties need this. It was reported a couple days ago by Variety, I believe, and then Billboard caught on to it. And then I think Chris Brown even hopped on his Instagram story to confirm the tour. There was a report out there that was going to happen this fall, but Chris Brown is saying, no. Me and Nicki Minaj will be going on tour this summer. I'm hearing that it's more or less a Chris Brown tour with Nicki Minaj as a featured act. But obviously, they're going to sell it as a Nicki and Chris co-headliner tour, right? Nicki's a big enough brand and Chris is a big enough brand where they can kind of sell it as a co-headliner tour. But technically, I believe it's probably Chris footing the bulk of the bill to get this thing on and popping. I think it's the best case scenario for both acts. If you guys remember, I think I actually brought this up about Nicki Minaj a few months ago when I was talking about Drake. We got into this conversation about, yo, who could Drake go on tour with next? Because he's such a big act, and he usually goes to hip hop for his, his opening act, right? Like, he's went with Future, then he went with the Migos for the last tour. And I think somehow, somewhere, we got to talking about a couple of Drake peers and Nicki Minaj and Chris Brown. And I was asking you guys, who could they go out on the road with? Nicki Minaj last summer tried the tour with Future. It didn't work. They didn't sell enough tickets. I don't care how anybody else spends it. They wasn't selling enough dates. Nicki wants to do stadiums and arenas at this point in her career and make her way up to stadiums. The problem is right now she's not selling out arenas. She's more or less should be probably doing 2,000 to 4,000 seat venues. But damn, she could easily fill those up. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of like 10,000 seat venues in a lot of the states here. So what do you do if you're Nicki? You can definitely do 4,000 people venues, but you probably can't do 20,000 people venues. And let's talk about Chris Brown. Last time Chris Brown did a tour, if I'm not mistaken, was the joint he did with Fab and a couple other acts as well. I thought that tour did pretty good. It looked like they did pretty good numbers. But in regards to, can Chris do that right now? I'm not 100% sure. He doesn't have a record on the radio right now. Chris is Chris. He's phenomenal, and I think people still want to see him. But you got to have something spinning to go get that casual fan out the house. And best case scenario for both these two is they team up at a pivotal point in both of their careers, in my opinion. Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown go on a tour together. They're both popping enough to me to be able to grab 10,000 people apiece and sell out 20,000 seaters all around this country. Nicki Minaj's fan base has been dying to see her live. Obviously, after dropping her last album, what was that, last August, she has not been able to tour that music in the States. She did a few dates overseas as of recent with Juice WRLD opening up for her. But heck, a few of those dates got canceled, sound issues, all that stuff. She knows her core is here in the States. She's got to be able to perform that music. And that's a lot of Nicki Minaj's crowd. Like, her fans like to come out and show love to her. At least the dedicated ones do, at least. and they want to interact with their girl Nicki. Now they'll get that opportunity to do that with this tour. And then Chris Brown's situation, man, he's still such a great on-stage performer. Honest to God truth, I think he'd be selling himself short with the show he's gonna put on if he's not doing arenas. Now they both can do that. Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown. I'm sure there's gonna be an opening act or two somewhere along announced for Nicki, right? And somebody's gonna open up for Nicki, and then Nicki will probably open up for Chris. And then I seen that they just put the new Wobble record out, Chris's single, I believe. I'm guessing that they'll probably do some records together. They got a few joints in the canon. Look, if you're a Nicki Minaj fan, I think Nicki's plan all along, I think originally was she thought she could always do something with like a Wayne back in the day, right? Then it looks like her and Drake's relationship has not been the greatest over the last few years. And then you look at her relationship with Meek. I mean, that Meek's the artist who I believe could get close to bringing the streets out enough for Nicki to do arenas, but unfortunately they're not together anymore. So where do you go to? You got to go somewhere. You got to get somebody involved with you. As she just recently announced that, well, she fired both her managers, G and Cortez. Brian, I mean, you got to do something. And Chris Brown is as popping a talent out there still, with enough attraction around his name, with enough popularity, all that great stuff, and enough hits to be able to make this thing work. In Chris's situation, I don't know what the hell he thought. Rihanna would never tour with his ass again. I'm telling you guys, this is absolute gold. This is genius on the part of Nicki Minaj and Chris Brown. I expect this tour to do great. Hell, I'm a fan of music. I might go see this bad boy my damn self, just because Chris Brown and Nicki Minaj have been so important to the culture over the last 10 plus years. What y'all think about Nicki Minaj and Chris Brown agreeing to go on the road together? Y'all think it's a good idea or not? What's up? Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. Will you go see it when it's in your city? Again, Chris Brown has said that this thing is coming sooner rather than later. I've heard a report that tickets are going on sale next week. Don't quote me on that, but that's a report that I heard. We'll see. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.